Okay, everyone, thank you all for coming to this Northwest District meeting of Provo. Sorry, we changed the name. I'm all messed up on this, but to the Northwest District meeting. Thanks to all our board members who are here with us. And I saw City Councilor Travis Hoban. We have some city staff here. Thanks everyone for coming. And I did want to mention we have a new neighborhood board member here. Sean, do you want to introduce yourself a little bit? I've been told not to use the microphones in the room unless someone in the room needs it because they have all the fancy mics set up here for the online people.
Yeah, Sean Hammond. I've lived in Provo for a little over 20 years. Moved here from Tooele after high school and never left because I love it. Big fan of it and proud to represent the Brickyard neighborhood and see where we can take things. So.
Great, and the Brickyard neighborhood is new for us. So we just split it off from the Carterville neighborhood, and it's the lower part of the parts, kind of south of the river, right? That's the boundaries we have. And south of. No, we have a map in the back if anybody wants to check it out. Hey, let's get on to our agenda items today. First, we have some updates I'm real excited for from John Bunderson with the Provo Parks Department about the updates coming to the river trail.
Eric, good evening. I'm John Bunderson, the Parks Planning and Project Manager, one of two that the city has. And I was asked to give an update on the Provo River Trail improvements that will be occurring between the north end of Exchange Park, up along the Provo River, behind Walgreens, along the north side of the Macy's parking lot, and it'll extend all the way up to University Parkway. So we were originally scheduled to do that work this past fall and winter because the work improvements have to happen during the winter months in the river channel. It's part of our permit that we have. But due to slow process of some property acquisitions, that's been delayed until this next year, this next coming fall and winter. I crossed out 25. So let's go to the next slide. That should have the alignment of the trail so you can see where this work is occurring. This will be widening the existing trail and the undercrossings at Columbia Lane and State Street, as well as the whole trail section up to University Parkway. If you've been north of University Parkway on the Provo River Trail in the last 2 years, you'll see that it's much more open and widened. There's some nice trail lighting along that section. That's what we're replicating, connecting between Exchange Park and University Parkway. So I wanted to let you know that in our planning for these improvements, one of the things that we've worked hard on is having a united project with Public Works. They also have some infrastructure needs in that area. That is upsizing a sewer system and a water line. They need to also go across the river at the same time. So we've coordinated all of these efforts to occur one time. And both of those projects require closing down Columbia Lane Road at the bridge. So it will be closed for about a 6-month period while both projects cross the road there. It's a good thing we didn't do it this year because of the 820 North Bridge, which should be done. I think current schedule is around June-ish. So that they have some information on the back table if you want to follow that project. Again, more trail improvements happening there at the same time. So that's going to happen, and we're going to make sure that emergency services has access in and out. There's a lot of planning that's taken place to make sure that we minimize impact as much as possible while trying to make these new improvements. So let's go one last slide.
We do have a question here.
I just wanted to confirm that Columbia Lane Bridge you're talking about is the one by Walgreens?
South side of Walgreens. So on the left is the current State Street undercrossing. I measured it at 5 feet width. It's going to be improved similar to what we did at 2230 North, but even wider. We're going to 14 feet at both of those undercrossings at Columbia Lane and State Street. So plenty of room for a couple people to pass by each other in those. And the zigzag jogs that you face going in and out of those will be removed. It'll be more of a straight shot in and out. So
no blind corners.
in that section. We don't intend to create blind corners, but that's the way it was built in the 80s when those improvements were made. We very much appreciate the neighboring properties that we've been able to acquire the property needed to widen the trail. That includes Walgreens. Part of this coordination is make sure that their operations are minimal impact to their operations is created by these improvements. So we really appreciate the Walgreens team, the U-Haul facility on the other side of the river, and Utah Parking Authority properties that were able to sell us a little bit of property and make these improvements and improve the trail experience in Provo. Yes, sir.
So I'm trying to visualize this because I walk on these trails a lot. That means you're gonna go 9 feet into the Walgreens parking lot. Is that what you're telling us?
The trail surface will be widened to 14 feet.
Right, but you said it was 5. So you're gonna have to add
I
9
did.
feet. So are you gonna go toward the river?
I
or are
said
you gonna go
State
the
Street,
other way?
State Street undercrossing is 5 feet. So in that section at State Street undercrossing, we're going 9 feet further into the river channel.
Okay, that's what I thought. I just wanted to ask.
But at Columbia, it's a different scenario
Right,
because we're building on the exterior of the bridge abutment. So that'll go 8.5 feet because that one's 5.5 feet wide. It'll go 8.5 feet further into the roadway. We're not going towards the riverside because we're
Okay.
building on the exterior of the bridge abutment.
And is there anything we can do, since it's gonna be summer again with the probably more use there on the blind corners? Is there anything we could do in the meantime to keep it, like, they have the mirrors there at one point to help bikers and people
If
coming
you
at
could
each
catch the
other?
guys that keep breaking those
I
mirrors.
know.
That'd be appreciated. We're all a victim of somebody.
Yeah, is there any, I was just wondering if there's any other options that just a temporary fix.
Ask others to slow down.
Okay.
I will talk to our maintenance team about that mirror. I know it's helpful and it's just difficult to keep it there.
Yeah.
I mean, even the post, when I was there this last week, has been knocked down, so. But I'll talk to our maintenance team about that. It needs to be addressed. And there won't be a need for the mirror when we're done, but
Oh, I know. I was just thinking in the meantime.
one more
there's
summer, yeah.
somewhere.
Yeah, also in the meantime, you were saying that the Columbia, you said the bridge is closed, right? Is there gonna be a detour for the trail, some through the roads and neighborhoods, kind of like they're doing right now?
At 8:20.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the contractor will post and maintain that. There will be a detour to reconnect you back to the improved section.
Okay. 6 months though.
It may vary how that detour formed through the 6 months, but the bridge closure at Columbia Lane will be the 6 months.
Okay.
Because we have to do the work in the winter, but we can't pave in the winter. We have to pave when the temperatures come back up in the spring.
Gotcha.
That's the caveat.
I've got one question. Currently, there's no way to get to the river trail from the Walgreens side of Columbia Lane because it's all chain link fence. Is there a plan to open that up so you can get from the sidewalk down to the trail on that side?
Not on the south side of Walgreens property. The design is that you access on the north side of Walgreens property. There'll be an improved access on the north side by State Street.
Oh, but there won't be an access on the
There's not room.
Columbia Lane side.
Because of the drive approach that they have, there's a view corridor that has to be there for the drive approach. Yeah,
That was my question too. I was just gonna.
John, may I interject?
Hard to-
The good news is that UDOT this summer is going to connect the protected bike lanes on Cougar Boulevard from the Chick-fil-A corner
they're going to widen that pathway that runs along State Street onto the Provo River Trail. So you're asking, if you're on Columbia Lane, how do you get on the trail to go north, right?
No, how do I go down the trail to go? I'm coming back from the South Trail. I want to go up Columbia Lane and there's no way to access
Yeah,
unless you go on the south side of Columbia.
yeah, we've.
Yeah.
The,
So there's, roadway will be up high.
Yeah.
It will also be down low because these undercrossings are also taller clearances underneath. So we're going down lower, and the grade difference, we can't recover that grade distance and accommodate the needs of the Walgreens property on the south side. But we do have access on the north side of the Walgreens property to come back to the trail.
So you just go up to there and then come back through the Walgreens parking lot and then head up Columbia Lane. That would work. Okay.
Thanks for spearheading this. I think this is gonna be a great improvement. I had heard that, so on the side where Macy's is, that the trail is gonna be moved to the other side of the river. Is that still the plan?
There
So
is,
the
yeah.
current pathway will be destroyed and moved to the other side.
Yeah, because there's not enough room to widen the trail along Moon River Drive, north of the Macy's parking lot. So there'll be a new pedestrian bridge, again widened to 14 feet. That'll carry across the river to behind U-Haul and then up that side of the river all the way past Branberry to current improved section of the trail with lighting and vegetation has been cleared out a couple of times, but the maintenance team will have better access to maintain that vegetation back there. At the village of Green. Yes, good, that'll stay. Additional bridge.
Will the existing pedestrian bridge be maintained? We're coming down the river trail crosses right now on a pedestrian bridge right there.
Yes.
At that, where those apartments are. That'll still be there. They're not gonna
Yes.
take that out. You'll just have another one now.
And we're still coordinating with Public Works about how the east side lines up with roadways on that side, because it doesn't line up well now. So we're working out how that finishes, but there will be an improved connection down to the road and neighborhood on that section of the trail. And may even redeck the decking on the bridge with this project.
Is there better access now from the trail to the Macy's too? Is there a crosswalk going in there?
Yes.
Okay.
The crosswalk is again a Public Works project, but the trail will come down to street level to a crosswalk that's designed there.
Is that just gonna be north of Central Bank?
Further north, by the north entrance to Macy's.
Okay.
Thank you for your time, appreciate it, and if you have any questions about the project, you're welcome to reach out to me. Did I put my email on here? I'll remember that next time, apologize. J Bunderson, my last name BUNDERSON @provo.gov. Thanks again.
Thanks so much. And I just wanted to point out that most of this funding for the River Trail project came from the RAP tax that we passed 10 years ago and just renewed this year. So this is the kind of cool projects we can do with it. Okay, thanks so much. Our next presenter, we have Kirsten Garcia, who's the Provo's Community Grant Coordinator. Okay.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kirsten Garcia. Like you said, I'm with Development Services and I'm a Community Grant Coordinator. Community Programs, our division in Development Services, we administer the HUD-funded CDBG and home programs for the city. And if you guys have ever been in any of our CDBG or home presentations, you might have seen this presentation before in these pictures. But what I'm here today to tell you guys about is our emergency home repair grant program. And I need your guys' help to make sure that people know about this program. So this program, if you'll go to the next slide,
There's a click, should be a clicker up.
oh, perfect. Sorry, first time here. Thanks for. There we go. Okay, so this program is available within Provo City limits for Provo City homeowners, and it's for emergency home repairs on properties owned and occupied by low to moderate income persons who are either 60 years of age or older, on Social Security disability, or an active duty member of the U.S. Armed Forces. So a lot, like our ideal candidate, well, applicant, is really like, let's think of your senior homeowner in your neighborhood who's living on Social Security, and then they have an emergency repair that they need on their home. So program details for this are we award grants up to $15,000. We work with your contractor to pay them directly for these repairs. These grants can only be used once per household, and then the repair must be deemed an emergency by a city inspector. And then, like I said, we're funded through the Community Development Block Grant, which comes from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. Here's some example of possible repairs: mechanical, electrical, plumbing, and structural items to correct health hazard or threat of physical danger. Roof repair, that's the most common one we do. If you have an active leak in your roof, that is going to be considered an emergency. Tree removal if they're causing damage to the home, or repair work from flooding, fire, accidents, or other unpreventable occurrences not covered by insurance. So here are some pictures of past repairs that we've done. This one is before my time, so I unfortunately don't have any after pictures, but this is a failing tub. They only had one bathtub or like bathroom in their home. And as you can see, it was failing. And so we replaced that with an ADA accessible shower with handrails and everything. And they also had a ceiling repair from active leak. Roof repair that we've done in the past. This was a really intense situation where it was a really bad hoarding situation where the home was just unlivable. And so here we do have some active pictures of this one. Here's another ceiling repair where it was causing mold and mildew issues. Here's a roof repair. As you can see, during it, the roof was really rotted out. And then after, it would be nice and cleaned up. And then that's it. I made my presentation really short and sweet. I just want everyone to be aware of the program, and you guys are going to know the members of your community better than I will. I tried to get the word out, but I need your help, like I said, just to think of the people in your neighborhood who might benefit from this program, to make sure that they're able to live in Provo and live safely in their homes, and help them age in place or whatever needs they may have. I'm the primary point of contact for this program. This is my pug. I just wanted you guys to remember, if you think of emergency home repairs, just remember the pug lady. But if you have any questions, feel free to email me, give me a call. I'm here. We also administer different programs like down payment loan assistance for first-time home buyers. We do an egress window program for Provo residents, and a commercial facade improvement program, things like of those natures. So if you have any questions, ask me. Rachel always does a great job of having our brochures at these meetings, but I guess that's it. Does anybody have any questions? Yeah.
What's your budget for this year?
So that's the main reason why I'm here, is because we have unspent funds from the last few years because people aren't using this program. So we have like 100 grand still left to use. So
What's a typical budget though for you for a year?
we usually ask for anywhere from 30 to 50,000 because I'm trying to get the word out. So if we have more applicants throughout the years, more that we're successful doing, the more we can ask for in the following years. So like I asked for funds last year and I got awarded some, but we never spent any. We spent enough for one roof, and then one roof is around $10,000. So we don't use the whole grant amount for every single repair that we do sometimes. So I just wanted, like this year, we're not asking for funding because we still have a lot of funding. So yeah. Perfect. Anyone else? Okay, perfect. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Now we have a presentation on a potential zone change. And we have a developer here. Can you speak? Yeah. Great. Come up and introduce yourself and explain a little about the project.
And while he's coming up, just to explain the development process, usually a developer has an idea, they make an application with the city reviews the application, and after it passes all reviews, it goes before the planning commission, which is a public hearing, and then the city council, which is another public hearing. This one is in the review process. So what you see tonight may be a little bit different when it goes before planning commission and city council, but that's kind of where we're at. So it has not been scheduled yet for planning commission or city council. And I will let the developer talk about his project. This is the location where it's at.
I'm actually the engineer for the developer. The developers are the Jolly family who are here with us tonight. My name's Roger Dudley. I'm a civil engineer and land planner. We were approached by the Jolly family to create some buildable area on this property there that you're seeing. The Jolly family built the two homes to the north. They've lived in this neighborhood a long time. Most of you, if you have interest in this, would know them. The challenge to this course was to provide engineering for development of their proposal is to develop two twin homes on the property. That's going to involve a fairly large expense in terms of retaining walls and other improvements that will be done to the site if this goes through and is approved. We've worked with the city engineering department and public works for some months now with geotechnical engineers. The city has also had a geotechnical company review our plans. But the proposal that we're proposing to the Planning Commission is basically a rezone from the present zone, which is R18, to an LDR, which stands for low density residential, which would allow for twin homes. Under the present zone, single family homes was the only thing that could be built there. The Jollies, in order to make this financially doable, feel like it's a better choice for them to build two twin homes in lieu of building only two single homes. That's basically the proposal, the thing that's before the Planning Commission, or will be coming before the Planning Commission. If you have any questions, I'm not sure. That's a site plan. This is you see the location of the twin homes. There will be a large retaining wall built along the Walmart parking lot. That wall will be what we think, at least in the planning, will be one of those large block walls that you see now being built. Most recently up on the new school that Provo's building above BYU. There are substantial walls that will create the building sites for these two. The two twin homes will have walkout basements, and but from the Carterville view, you will only see the single story. They will basically be nice twin homes. Staff indicated that some of the neighborhood had some interest in a trail that's being proposed or has been proposed from this neighborhood down to the Walmart development. On this, what we're doing here would not interfere with that. If you notice, this is the present alignment of the trail that you're in the neighborhood. That's the trail you would use to go to Walmart, I guess. This land is owned, all of the land around us, including this, is is owned by the shopping center and by the developer who owns the shopping center. Provo City Public Works and I think others are looking at how that could be constructed if that's the desire of the neighborhood. What we're doing here would not interfere with that proposal at all. So I think there was some in the neighborhood that maybe had a question about that. I'm happy to answer any questions that you would have. And the Jollies are here as well if they'd like to.
I'd just like to add one thing. The city will require that each home be owner occupied, so they can't be used as rentals. They have to be owner occupied.
Questions?
That's a question.
Can you explain the off-street parking that you have in mind for this?
Basically, the off-street parking, each of the units will have 2 spaces and a 2-car garage. So there'll actually be 4 spaces available to each of the 2 units. It's similar to your home where you could park two cars in the driveway and 2 in the garage. I can't in mine because I got too much junk. Some are able to do that. Yeah. That's what we have for parking. Yes.
Just a question on the retaining wall, because I know the Wasatch Elementary School that you referenced had a major failure and was ready to collapse on the brand new school due to groundwater and that, the geologist by nature. How are you going to make sure that that retaining wall does not collapse, destroying those new homes and potentially damaging the businesses down below?
I understand that the issue they had there at the Wasatch Elementary was an issue of water. It got in behind the wall, and moisture and water is the biggest enemy we have to retaining walls. So we'll have issues. The engineers that are designing that will not be myself. It'll be a structural engineer that will design that and make sure that there's proper drainage. These walls are substantial, and if they're constructed properly, they can stand for forever. They must be constructed appropriately and designed appropriately. Yeah, I'm not sure there's a concern there. That was unfortunate. It really was. Yes.
My only concern going down Carterville Road, probably a minimum of 3 times a day, is that there would be parking in front of the 2 homes. And I just, like, that neck of Carterville is so narrow. One neighbor was saying, you're taking your life in your hands just to pull out from 2150 and go left or right because people come from Orem really fast. Not as bad from Provo, but from the Orem side. So is there any way that built into this could be something that says no parking in front of the two homes? Because then I would feel safer about Carterville Road. I mean, I think that's great that 4 parking spots. Here's my concern. So owner occupied, but then they end up renting the other half, right? Which they legally could do if they're owner occupied. They all have 3 cars because 3 single students could legitimately live in that half. So we've got 3 plus whatever the family on the other side would have. That's my only concern is I think they look beautiful, what you're showing us. But the thought of putting more cars on Carterville Road is a scary thought. Is there any way that rather than allowing people to park on Carterville Road in front of those, they would have to park down in like the Walmart parking lot and come up the hill instead of?
I'm not sure there's any way to regulate that. I understand it's a universal problem. The parking issue has become a real problem. I don't know that they would red curb in front of the units. I'm not sure that would be fair to the owners. I don't know that. There will be a little widening. In other words, the curb gutter and sidewalk improvements on that side will be part of this project. And so it'll feel a little wider than it is now.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure there's any way to regulate that for sure.
I just wanted to clarify, each home on the twin home has to be owner occupied.
Oh, okay.
So they're
So-
like a regular home with
So
their
there'll
own
be
lot,
4 different owners.
different owners.
Okay, got it.
Yes, yes.
I'm always concerned when rezoning from single family residential to higher density. And Carterville Road seems like a really good case here because of some of the concerns that she expressed. But let me also say that, yeah, requiring owner occupancy is great, but it is a fact that both the southernmost home on that row and the northernmost home built as single family residencies are now being used as apartments.
Student apartment.
I don't know what they're student apartments, but so, you know, you can have rules all day long, but this is what happens in reality.
Yeah, they're not.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah, we have a home in our neighborhood that's had as many as 6 or sometimes you drive by and there were 10 cars there in the driveway and out front. And so that's our biggest concern is that even though they own it, like the one that's on the north end, mom and dad own it, but still they rent it out to students during the school year. And then you end up with a plethora of vehicles. And so I think it looks beautiful. I just wish there was a way to solve the parking issue.
I understand the problem. It's part of our affordable housing issue that we're all dealing with. Not sure how to do that, but Marilee, maybe you have a comment.
The current plan, which, you know, plans change, but we plan to live in one of them and we plan to have that be our home. And so we are hoping we could get some of the older women around there single older women maybe to live in the others, you know, or thinking of it as more senior housing area. So, but that's just a plan, of course, it's not set in stone.
I have a question. You said these would have walkout basements, which are very nice. But does that mean that then people would be putting accessory dwelling units in the basement of these homes?
Marilee can answer that. Walkout basement would be overlooking the Walmart parking lot. In other words, you'd envision that the main level would be on Carterville. And then, of course, you drop down like your walkout basement, and that would be at the level of the top of the retaining wall. Then there would need to be a fence around that retaining wall, of course, for safety. I don't know that there's any plans to have kitchens in the basements. That's not the plan. These are built, I think, for elderly. They're single story on purpose. They could be 2-story, but they've chosen to just do 1 story with a finished basement, similar to what your homes would have. Yes.
I think my biggest concern is I reported that North house, that the parents who bought the house was a 6-bedroom family home. When they bought that house, we assumed they were moving in. Instead, they moved in BYU students, one of which was their daughter. The daughter is now married and probably living upstairs, but she has continued to have her roommates that she had before in the basement. The point that I'm trying to make is we reported that. That was an illegal thing that was happening. There is another house down the street on Carterville that has 3 apartments in it that some contractor has put his 3 family workers in. And it's happening all over our neighborhood on this west side. Our whole neighborhood is being taken over by investors and developers who, even when they swear they're not going to do it, buy our homes, and then they turn them into rentals that are illegal because of the number of students they can put in to take care of that mortgage. What we don't want in our neighborhood, and I love your idea that it would be homes, okay? But where is the Where are the people who we report to not stopping what's happening?
Okay, that, I don't know if the staff
I'm
would like,
throwing that out to the people
Yeah.
who are responsible for not listening to us.
possibly Provo staff needs to maybe address that. I'm not sure I have an answer.
This is not his issue, but.
I know that.
I know, I know.
I'm just throwing that out to.
This is actually one of the things on the agenda that will be addressed more heavily in June. I'm actually gonna be talking a little bit about ADUs and compliance, and we do have a compliance officer in our district. And I have his name and information and all that. And that's who we're supposed to be addressing all of this information to. So I only have 10 minutes tonight, but it is a huge issue. It is a huge issue.
So
You're
can we
absolutely
Can we
right.
get that information? Because we're willing to like continue to report.
Yep.
If we have the correct information, and really, we're just trying to protect.
Of course,
our
yeah,
neighborhood.
we're in the same boat. We're all in the same boat with that.
I just
trying to be
feel like
Right.
I talk to Rob all the time. He and I are best friends and he's the one you talk to.
Yeah, Robert.
And Rob is great, but Rob's hands are tied. So it needs to go beyond that. Maybe
some ways,
the
yeah.
city needs to change some laws or something in that the process that these people who come in and do those kinds of things, like turn them into triplexes, the process, like, you know, he goes out right away. I have full faith in him. It's just that the process beyond that is just awful. Like he has finally, after like 3 years of me calling on one particular property in our neighborhood, it finally went to, well, we're just gonna fine him $50 a day. And it's ridiculous that they get,
The penalties need to be
the
heavier.
penalties need to be heavier and it needs to be a faster process. It can't be 3 years
Right.
of having 6 cars out on your street, you know?
Do we have any more questions about this particular property?
I just had one about this specific development. Carterville Road, sorry, Carterville Road is a bit of a collector road, feeding from the neighborhoods out to the main roads. And adding 4 more driveways to be backing out onto that road seems a little concerning. That's my one concern, that there'd be more people backing out onto that road.
Be true. Yeah, that could be true. Widening it would help a little bit, I think.
It
because
will.
The new improvements, there's no curb gutter and sidewalk there presently, and there will be when it's done. So that'll be- Yes.
On the zoning, is it just the area for those 2 houses that are changing zoning?
Yes,
It's not affecting any of the other zoning? Okay.
it's limited to just that. Yes.
Does it start a precedent for other homes like Carterville right now, after the Crestwood Apartments is just single family, the entire thing. My street is just single family. So to have duplexes start creeping in, I mean, isn't it just starting a precedent for other neighbors to sell their house and then someone else comes in and makes it a duplex? We work so hard to have a single family neighborhood. That's nice. We all take care of our lawns. There's not a ton of cars, there's not a ton of traffic. So, I mean, there's traffic, but adding more concerns me.
What size, how many bedrooms and bathrooms, what price would you think these would go on the market for? Do you have any idea?
Barely, you know, we may not be that far along yet, but
The size there?
we don't have specific
Not a
architectural plans.
specific plan yet, but it'll be 1 bedroom, main floor living on the upstairs. Maybe, you know, the downstairs may have 2 bedrooms if you have family come to stay or something like that. We don't plan an extra kitchen. One thing I was gonna say is, along with making that area right there look very nice, we're gonna stop the homeless camping in the back and keep the transient people out. And so, but really the only way that we can develop this and be able to pay for it is to be able to recoup more back. So that's the reason we're going with the twin homes. I originally just wanted a single family home there because I'm the same with you guys. I mean, that's my neighborhood, you know? And
Twin homes is better than building like a duplex, because twin homes is.
Twin
I don't
homes
want to buy a twin home personally, because I don't want to share a wall, but it's basically just a shared wall between two single
between
families.
2 single family homes. And the city, I don't think, I may be wrong on this, but I don't think they allow ADUs in twin homes. And so, we're pretty, I don't know, we'd have to find that out, but.
Sorry.
Yes.
I have the same concern as Kelly. So we've lived in that neighborhood for 40 years and we just had a property right down the street from us do the same kind of zoning. And when they did it and the city passed and they're letting them rent. So I don't know, I would feel better if they had to, if they actually could only have, families in there. But I thought, here we go. Because one piece of property, and there's some of us that have really deep lots. We don't want to do this on our property, but my concern is, I don't want it to change up there. I want us, I like the residential zoning that we have. Because I'm concerned that people will start buying at places that have duplexes on them, and then they're gonna wanna do low density. And all of a sudden Carterville, that whole area up there that's gold, is gonna totally change. And that is heartbreaking to me.
Yes.
Yeah, I totally agree with all these comments. I mean, I love the jollies, but do have some reservations on this because we have seen the neighborhood start to change over the years. We've been there for over 40 years ourselves, and we see these properties, and it's really disturbing because these homes, they're turning into apartments, and our neighborhood is changing. The other thing I'm worried about too is the backing up, what someone's already mentioned under Carterville Road. You can have, 4 to 8 cars. You just come around a curve that a lot of people are speeding on, and there's no way in the world you're gonna stop them from speeding. And that is a very dangerous situation coming around, going pretty fast. It's too bad those driveways could be, that they don't have to back up to Carterville Road. And I'm just really worried about how our neighborhood's changing, because once you start this, it keeps going. And already our neighborhood on the north end of Carterville, there's a lot of illegal apartments up there, but we can't do anything about it. And then they just keep changing and they keep doing it, and nobody stops it.
We just have a few more questions, then we gotta move on with our agenda.
What's the proposed square footage for each unit?
I think we were thinking 1,250, wasn't it?
150 on one level.
On one level, for one home. This is
2-car garage.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess one thought is, I travel in Carterville a lot, and I think a lot of us also tend to use our garage for storage or purposes other than parking a car. That being the case, you then have outside parking generally for the owners. And then if they have children or guests, they either have the option of parking on the street, which is, I think, a safety issue that a lot of people are discussing, or they're maybe more likely they're gonna go park across the street in the neighborhood in front of other people's houses. And that seems to create, if that becomes a chronic issue, I could see that be true.
I understand that. I'm not sure that's a factor of density so much as it is just our lifestyle. We have the same, I live in a single family neighborhood in Orem, and we have the same issues. Mostly because people don't use their garage to park cars in, which is, I'm embarrassed to admit that I scrape my windows every morning. That's crazy. And I have a beautiful garage, so I'm not sure that there's answers to that. I appreciate your time. Thank you for taking time.
Thanks for your comments, and we'll keep you guys up to date. And when that comes to the planning commission and the city council, we'll have one of us, probably our Carterville area board member, relay all the concerns you guys have about this, and keep you in the loops. Okay, now this is our first meeting of the year, and so that means it's time to elect the new board member leadership for the year. I've been the co-chair with Ben Pettigrew for the past year, so we have to step down and rotate out and let some other people do that. We did meet as a board a couple of weeks ago and talk about who we wanted or who would be willing to serve in these leadership positions, and we did have some volunteers or voluntold people, I guess, that we convinced to step into these roles. And our new chair we were gonna have for this year is Kirsten Kramer from the Rivergrove neighborhood, but she is not here with us tonight. So I'd give her a chance to introduce herself, but we'll catch her next time, I guess. Then we had serving as a new vice chair is David Aldrich. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. I'm David Aldrich, Brickyard neighborhood. Been in Provo for close to 20 years now, came as a student and stayed. And don't plan to leave anytime soon.
So, and then as a other vice chair, Jocelyn Bracken.
I'm Jocelyn Bracken. I'm a representative for the North Park neighborhood. I've been on the executive board for about a year now, so I feel like I have a little bit more of a feel for how things work. You're welcome to email me or come up to me after and talk to me about your concerns, and I'm just really happy to be here.
And then we have as a secretary, Steve Burton.
Steve Burton, been in the neighborhood, wow, almost 40 years. Grandview North is what I'm in. And yeah, just enjoy serving. I've been in on 1 year so far, so I'm one of the newer ones too. And just get your concerns brought before the city and get the information from the city back to you. That's what we try and do.
And I do believe, Rachel, we have to have a vote, but we're doing the vote by acclamation, is that right?
Just-
So what does that mean?
Just if you ask for a vote of approval, hands up, and then if anyone disapproves.
Okay, so all in favor of these leadership positions? One opposed. Great. Looks great to me. All right, we have a few updates now from our board members. I didn't write down who was gonna do all these things. So,
Kristen's supposed to do lines.
let's see, I have on here. We have, let's just go through this.
Let's see
I
what's
got-
on the
I got
slides.
clicker. Okay. We have our new Brickyard neighborhood here with David and Sean.
David and Sean want to say anything about the new Brickyard neighborhood?
We will be getting a neighborhood email up for you guys, for people to email us their concerns and for us to disseminate activities and events going on in the Brickyard neighborhood. We also will be getting a Facebook page up, which we'll post there, so stay tuned. And in April or May, when we get together and plan it, we will be having a neighborhood welcome to the new neighborhood party. Hot dogs will be provided, bring your own side. And there will be family games.
Where is it? I don't even know where it is.
So Brickyard is basically the east side of the Provo River that used to be the Carterville.
Like it used to be Lower Carterville neighborhood. It's kind of split off now because the old Carterville neighborhood it had more people in it, basically had a higher population than the rest of the whole district together pretty much.
Are you talking about Silver Shadows?
I don't know what that is. No.
We're talking about Mace, so the
Like-
boundaries are like Bulldog or Hoover Boulevard now, sorry, it will always be Bulldog to me. Up to Canyon Road. And then at University Parkway, it comes back and cuts off the BYU housing there and then goes up and back towards Canyon Road. So it's that neighborhood behind Macy's and a lot of businesses and stuff right in that. It's a mixed use area.
So is it Lower Carterville then as well?
It's,
And those new townhomes that are where Food for Less used to be?
No, those are still in the Carterville neighborhood, because they decided on the river as the boundary. So on the west side of the river is still the Carterville neighborhood. So if anybody, we're always, I think we're still looking for another representative from the Carterville neighborhood.
Carterville, yes.
So if you know anybody who lives over there who'd want to join our board, that'd be awesome too. All right, we wanted to give everyone an update on what some of the things that have happened recently at Lions Park. Do you have any info on that, Spencer? Do you want to give an update?
Or on shootings?
Yeah, do you have a neighborhood meeting? Okay. Do you know anything, Aaron?
I do.
Do you want to give a quick little summary? There was
Actually, it's nothing to be alarmed about. Because Lions Park is the best park in the city, and it's not really, these incidents have been people that don't live in the neighborhood. They happen to be passing through, or stopping at the park. And in response to these incidents, the city has taken steps to improve the lighting in the north parking lot. So you can go out and play football at night now, because it's so light around the north parking lot. It feels really safe by both parking lots now. So the city's deserves our applause for kind of responding in a positive way. But some members of the neighborhood are now locking the gate that leads to the north parking lot every night, which is a big commitment because they have to lock it every night at 11 and then unlock it by 5 a.m. And I'm not up that early, so I haven't volunteered to do this. But they're concerned enough that they've taken these steps and the lighting is improved. Yeah, any questions? So it's nothing to be alarmed at about. The city's responded positively, and I think it's things are much better. Yeah.
Rachel, was there things printed about the safety that was supposed to be?
Yes, so
Okay.
they look like this. Yes, so we do have them on this back table, these little flyers about, from the police department about how to keep your neighborhood safe. One of the main things is to go out and use your park. If residents are using the park, then the bad elements won't go into that park because there's too many residents there. And Kirsten is going to be putting these around the neighborhood, around Lions Park in that area, but I also have them here at the table.
And as you can see, all of these incidents, one was not actually in the park, it was just near the park. The two that were in the park were very late at night when the park is not being used. And because the park is so, I think it's one of the most popular parks in Provo now, it's normally being used most of the time, so those bad elements are kept out. And these things are happening at night, but now it's lighter. The gate is being shut. So I think we're not all that concerned. And I live at the north-south end of the park, so yeah, sure.
Yeah, I'm just curious. I don't know anything about these
want to
situations.
say that there's more information on the next slide about what's been done. Just move to the next slide, please.
Awesome. Okay. Well, what I was gonna ask is, in those three cases that you cited there, I mean, what was going on? Like, why were people firing at that direction anyway? They sound like drive-bys. What are the kind of reports of things that you've heard? Like, why is that happening?
Let's go back to the last one. So this was a drive-by. So it was outside the park. This one was near the north staircase where we're not sure what happened. Nobody was injured. This one was an incident in the park late at night, 2 vehicles, young people, perhaps involved drugs. One person was actually shot and hurt, and what, I don't know, he may or may not be cooperating with police, so.
Okay.
Yeah, none of them are related.
Right, okay, so the first two situations, it sounds like there were people there and then some people didn't like those people and drove by and tried to shoot at them, right?
We're
And then
not-
the last one sounds like it was just 2 cars that just happened to go in and.
No, I think 2 cars that were there and they were interacting and things went south.
Okay, yeah.
So, come to Lions Park, it's a wonderful place.
Okay, thank you, Aaron, for that. Okay, now we had a report from Melanie who wanted to talk about this, some of her work with zoning enforcement people.
So, yeah, this is the issue that everyone's just been talking about, but, and I was only gonna do 2-minute introduction of this because the goal is to talk more to Robert Allen, who is our particular enforcement officer in our district. And he emphasized to me over and over again today, he wanted to be here, but he's like, let's just present in June in our next neighborhood. Kind of help everyone understand it is a complicated thing. ADUs is complicated. Housing issue is complicated. We aren't the experts on that. We are just your neighborhood reps and the city council. And he specifically and Scott Johnson are over ADUs. But we just wanted to let you know that we are meeting with them. Beth and I specifically sat down with Robert for 2 hours and we had question after question and he kept directing me to the codes that we can all go to. I wrote it down specifically in here. And it is, I mean, you're gonna have to write it down because I don't have it like anywhere, but it's the 14.30, so 1430.030. You can go there and in fact, I'm gonna give you a hint. This is what I did. I put it into AI. I took it because it's complicated and I copied and pasted it. I put it into AI and I said, simplify this for me, please. So I understand what is in compliance and what isn't. So that when I go to report it, I am reporting it accurately. And I asked him specifically, I said, is this accurate? And he said, yes, this is accurate. And then he gave me even more information. He's super approachable. He wants to help. He did tell me, he says, we have to work as a team and understand that there's patience involved with this because he does go in and he does talk to people and they have done some blitzes. So that's another thing on here, blitzes. North Park got this done to them a little bit ago. And there's pros and cons to that because what's happened is it's displacing people. It is working. He told us about another one up by the stadium and it is working that they go in and they blitz and they say, are you licensed as a renter? Are you licensed as an ADU if you have ADUs in your neighborhood? And if you're not, there are fines and there are things. I personally believe that we need to penalize it a little harder and penalize the homeowners, not the renters, because what's happened is it's displacing people and then they're left homeless or left in a bad spot. So that's my push right now. And I'm going to be working on that personally because we have the same issue up in Grandview South neighborhood. And I'm sure everyone does. We want to get it. We want to work on this so badly because we don't want the illegal situation happening, but we also don't want to displace people. I'm assuming everyone's on board with that idea. Okay.
What was the code again? What did you say?
Oh yeah, 14.30.030. And I have Rob's number too. I can give that to you too. It's 852-6415.
And we have a whole stack of his business cards at this table.
Okay. A blitz, we don't want to do. In fact, this is one of the things Beth and I talked about. I said, if I could educate me personally, if I could go to my neighborhood and educate them and say, this is what is good, this is not legal, this is legal, and you are able to let your neighbors know, warn them that this is something that could happen. You could have a blitz if we don't get this under control. Then we don't want to do that. We don't even want to go there. But so I'm like, let's educate, let's get our neighborhood. So I'm just even thinking as neighborhood chair, chairs, we can do that. We can get together in our smaller neighborhoods. If you want to have these discussions, pull us aside and say, we want a neighborhood meeting, just a neighborhood meeting, not this big thing, a neighborhood meeting, and let's talk about it. I'm just putting out HB 477. That is a state legislature issue going on right now, and I'm just letting you know this. If you haven't heard about this, we happen to catch it on Channel 2 News. It is up there on the hill right now. They are discussing allowing the state to control a little bit more of the city. If you don't like that idea and what the city can allow and what they don't allow with ADUs. I have my own strong opinions about that. And so if you want to know more about that, I'm just informing you and educating you, I guess, that is happening right now. If you don't like the idea of the state controlling the city and what they get to do, then contact Lisa Shepherd. She's the one. I'm not sure exactly who our people are that we need to talk to, but talk to your legislature. I already talked to Lisa Shepherd.
How would you find out more about that?
I just Googled the HB 477. I use AI. I literally did. It was awesome. It broke it down for me.
State's got one of the best websites in the country for the legislature. It's le.utah.gov. And if you just go there, it's very easy to type in HB 477. It'll pop it right up.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
And I just want to reemphasize too that the city I know is really, the city council has told me to personally, they're like, we really want to get on this. We want to be better enforcers. They're trying their hardest to do it. And we just have to be patient. One of the things I remember from my interview with him is he says, you have to report. So it sounds like people are. We have to know and follow the law. So that's the educating part that I was talking about. And we just have to trust that he calls himself, because I'm a new sheriff in town. They are doing the blitzes. And so they are trying their best. So we just have to be patient and work with them on that. So I'm not an expert, so I can say any questions, and I'm happy to bring back questions to him if anyone has questions. Okay, thanks.
Okay, thank you. Housing's a complicated issue. There's so much demand in the city and the state, the county, and all across the board for all different kinds of housing. And so part of the problems we're having is we haven't met that demand as a city. So people who might want to work or go to school at BYU are forced into neighborhood homes, even though that's not necessarily where they want them to be. And I worry we're forcing them out of there. They're even farther away. Now we have more traffic problems, more parking problems. So it's a complicated problem. Okay, let me see what's next. We have this quick update about neighborhood preparedness classes.
Yeah, we have a flyer on the table if you're interested in that. It's combined with Orem. It's monthly classes on various being prepared topics in case of like an emergency, like earthquake or something.
Okay, we have a few other neighborhood events coming up. We as a neighborhood board have a small budget every year, and we can use it for events and stuff. And we have enough that we are having a district pool party, which allows people from our district to go to the rec center pool for free, basically on one day. And I think we're still deciding on the date on that. But we will pick a date and we'll let you know, and then everyone can go to the rec center.
Yeah, and this would be exclusive use of the outside pools by the Northwest District.
And it's time limited, right? We get it.
Yeah, it's usually. Yeah.
He says from 8:30 to 10 if it's a nighttime. So I'm gonna try and see if we can get a little earlier, since we've got families that may not want to be out that late. So we're gonna figure that out.
Yeah, we have to work around the pool's regular hours.
Okay. Let's move on to this matching funds. Through volunteer hours that we've done as neighborhoods, we have some funds available to use for a matching project. This is more, we have about $7,500 left we can spend this year on improvements or different things in our neighborhood. So we are open to all kinds of ideas. If you have an idea on how to spend that. And this is something we get every year. So this is more like a medium-sized project that you want to undertake for your neighborhood or for your neighbors. We're open to doing all kinds of ideas. Yeah, let's
Do
hear.
you know where the situation is with the city on that park trail that trail we were talking about from Carterville Road down to Walmart?
So last time we got an update from the city, it came in way more expensive than we could fund with this kind of money. We were hoping we could just do some improvements, but the city wanted to take a different route and do a real expensive project that's more on the order of like $500,000 worth of work.
So do we need to go to city?
$500,000.
Do we need to go to city council meetings in order for that to come to fruition?
That's,
Or
that's
are they,
how it's gonna
is
get.
it tabled by them or?
I mean, the first step we can do is get it in like the plans for the city and the master plan, the transportation and the bike and pedestrian master plan the city has, and then we can start working on funding for it, because it's so much of money. You might have to get creative or. Yeah.
I live on 820, and with the bridge closure, things have slowed down a bit, but they're gonna speed back up as soon as the bridge opens. If those your speed signs are active, sure would be nice to have those more often on 820.
That's one of the things we spent our money on last year, I think. With two of them, where are
1460 North and Carterville Road.
And if there's money for one coming in the other direction from Orem, that's where people really like speed. You know, coming from Orem down in Carterville. The other ones that move speed bumps. But another your speed sign to get people to slow down.
Please, thank you.
I mean, it's like a freeway right there. It's crazy.
And if there's any way, when you're coming out of 2150 and turning left, you could get broadsided in a second. I literally, because my daughter's on 2150 and I'm on Carterville Road. When I turn right, I literally go into the parking space first to make sure nobody's behind me coming around the curve. It's horrible.
Well, we shouldn't have to use all our neighborhood funds to do that every year, so we can pass that
speed
along
bump?
to the traffic.
A speed bump or a stop sign?
They won't.
Oh, those are your speed signs, they're licensed.
Then can you put a stop sign there at 21?
We'll make sure we pass that info along to the traffic manager that we want that too.
He already helped us once.
I was just wondering, have there been evaluations about the effectiveness of the your speed signs? Like, do we know if they work or not?
They're slowing me down.
Yes, because I live on that street and I'm the one who reported everything. And it has made a drastic difference of the 50 and 60 mile an hour people going down my street.
Really?
I
think
can't
there
see
is-
the difference.
There is evidence that they're not the most effective thing, but they're pretty cost effective and they do have impact.
One thing I will say, crazy idea, is that I've seen this, I think in Bountiful, that there was a your speed sign and it was way in the distance and it started flashing blue at me one time. And for a sec I thought, oh my gosh, like, is there a police officer trying to pull me over or something? And like I checked and it was just a your speed sign and it was fine, but I don't know, is that an option as well here?
I think some of the other ones in the city have that.
Yeah.
I think the one on South 500 West might have that. Not that I've ever gone that fast.
One thought, when the bridge opens, they're kind of straightening out, not totally, but they're sort of straightening out the S curve. Going westbound, there is a family across the street from me, the Roaches, that had to put those called bollards in, because I think they, in the years that they've lived there, they've had 3 cars plow into their backyard. Their 3 kids cannot play in their backyard. My concern is that and that's coming west on a pretty significant S curve. That gets straightened out, is that going to increase westbound speeds?
Yeah.
Like all the more reason to pay attention. I mean, it is what it is, but all the more reason I think we need to pay attention to taking care of that issue.
Yeah, let's,
I have a question. I have an idea, but I'm not gonna bring it up because I need to think about it a little more. But just talking about these speed signs, are those permanent structures or are those like movable?
They're permanent.
The ones that are in right now are permanent, yeah.
So
Solar powered.
okay, so my question actually is unrelated to those, but does the district or neighborhood have any kind of facilities for storing its own things? Like say those weren't permanent. Are there places we have to store things like that?
the
long
city
term?
does, like the street department does, but the neighborhood.
But
program
not,
doesn't
no,
besides
we
Rachel
talked
Ball.
about that before and that was a no. Because we are just residents, they're not going to store equipment for us.
And I don't wanna discourage anyone from volunteering to be on the board by saying, no, by the way, you have to store a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, we don't have any kind of community storage of any kind for.
No.
I just wanted to remind people that if we do want to request any kind of stop signs, your speed limit signs, like that, we have to do a traffic study first to make sure it's warranted. And we do get 5 traffic studies a year that the neighborhoods can request. So if that's something that people seriously want to do, we do need to have a vote and do a traffic study first before doing any type of matching grant to pay for those.
Is that 5 per neighborhood or 5 per district?
5 per district.
Wow.
Maybe Spencer and I should pool our traffic study since I'm on the 800 north side. You're on the 820 side of that bridge construction.
Once the bridge is done, so.
That, yeah. Immediately.
Okay, I did write up this little proposal for something I've been thinking about. One thing we've done in the past is do some sidewalk ramps. And this one right here is on the corner of 500 north and 800 west. And you can see it's just a, 6-inch flat, straight up and down curb. A lot of the other ones in the neighborhood has already been replaced. And I'm hoping to get an ADA style ramp like this put in on that little intersection. Just this one corner. This is the Timpanogos Elementary Safe Routes to School map. It's kind of a mess to read there, but right down here is where the corner is. So all the people west of that and north of that who are going to Timpanogos Elementary go across this little sidewalk here. I circled it. The red circle there is where the crosswalk is. So all those people cross over this little corner on their way to Timpanogos, and they will cross over. They'll still be at that corner when the new school is built between 7th and 8th West on the Dixon site. I went through the whole neighborhood to look at all the other places we're missing the sidewalk ramps, and I took some pictures of them. You can see some of these. This one right here is right next to the river trail. It's kind of weird. We don't even have sidewalk ramps right there next to the trail. It's one of our best assets in the city. I marked them out here, and you can see the one kind of farther away from everyone else. That's the corner I'm proposing that we do. It would like complete the network for a lot of people. There's a lot more work left to do out on the west side of the North Park neighborhood and down in the Dixon neighborhood. It's just whatever design standards they had in place when they built that area out didn't include good sidewalks in that situation. If we were redoing this corner from scratch, we would do something a little better than just a ramp. This is the curb extension. This is on 400 North and State Street. You see how they brought the curb out, so the crossing distance is a lot less. But that's way more expensive than the kind of thing we can cover in this grant. There we do cheaper options in the future if we fix this one corner. It's about 40 feet wide, the crosswalk now, and if you did something like that, you'd shrink it down to 30 feet. And it reduces the opportunity for collisions because people are crossing less. And you can see on that corner there how how wide or how close to the curb people take that corner now, what tire marks are. So that's what we would do if we were designing something from scratch, I think. But this is, putting in a little crosswalk like that would improve the walkability. Anyone pushing a stroller or in a wheelchair, kids on scooters, use that all the time. I think it would be a good benefit. Some reasons I think this would be a good project. We've talked to the city engineers, and it's about a $4,000 project to replace one of these corners, which is it's doable. They're on board with us doing it. We've had some projects in the past where we propose stuff and the city says, we're not really interested in doing that thing at the park or whatever. This is something that we can do. It's in a high pedestrian area, and it's the kind of thing that lasts for decades. It's not a super flashy project, but it's something that's real doable. Yeah.
Eric,
Yeah.
sounds like you're already talking to the city, so you may have already addressed this. Have they indicated when this area will be, when the streets will be repaved? Because last year in my neighborhood, in the Rivergrove neighborhood, they repaved a bunch of streets, and when they did that, they addressed a bunch of they fixed a bunch of the ramps.
Yeah, it's something they do a bunch every year. The city sets a budget and they say, we're gonna do 20 of these corners a year and replace them. And by using our neighborhood funds for this, we basically be jumping to the top of the list. So, cause I don't know how long it would take before this particular corner is done.
I'm in favor of it.
I was gonna say, I know that Vern Kessler has a schedule. I don't know if I talked to you before, but there's a schedule of actually when roads will be repaved. They have their schedule out there online. So it would be interesting to see where it falls in that, if you haven't looked at that yet.
Yeah, I'm not sure. They just did, because this is one of the main detours for 800 North, they just restriped 500 North. So
I'll be doing it then soon.
Yeah. They redid farther east on this road. So it might be coming up soon. That might be a good time, because repaving 500 North wouldn't necessarily include this corner done.
Are we supposed to vote on that? Like,
what do we do, Rachel, now? You got an idea?
Usually if someone presents an idea, they get a vote, so we can see if the residents, if this is something that we would like to do. And then I'm assuming you would be the project manager on that, would fill out the application for the grant funding. And then we put down in the application, we held a meeting on this day and this many people were in favor of it.
Because the budget on this would be about $4,000, we could still even do this and another pure speed sign somewhere else that we want.
And keep in mind that you do get another 7,500 on July 1st.
I motion that we support this project.
Before we do that.
Yeah.
I have another idea that I had just heard about. And I don't know, for those people who do a lot of biking and walking, I heard on the radio today, a project about installing more air quality monitors in neighborhoods that are around, I think they said $3,000 to $4,000 a monitor. The idea being that as we get more and more monitors in the area, and we can better evaluate whether or not we want to go out riding bikes or walking. I don't know, is that something for you people who do a lot of walking and biking? Is that something that you're not even, it's not even something that you're interested in? Okay.
I gotta walk anyway, so.
Okay. All right, you don't want to know. All right.
Good idea, but the reality is if you're gonna walk, you're gonna walk.
Okay.
Good idea.
I love this idea. My only question is just like, what other ideas do we deem important enough to even consider? Like, cause I just, there's like nothing in front of us other than this and maybe the slow down sign. Like, is there a way for that?
Does anybody want to give some example of projects neighborhoods have done in the past? We've done a few other of these sidewalk ramps. We've worked with some parks, the Lions Park Trail was paid by neighborhood matching grant.
Right, volleyball court or something for volleyball, yeah.
Yeah, we did some improvements at Carterville Park.
What about, actual sidewalks, if they aren't there now? Like 1000 West, north of 820. My kids used to walk that to go to Freedom Academy. And there's on the, the west side, there's no sidewalk, and they would either walk in the mud or they'd walk in the street, and neither one is really comfortable to me. They're all grown now.
The problem with the sidewalks is they get real expensive. Yeah, this is one corner is $4,000,
And they will charge, the residents who are there, they charge them money for the sidewalk.
Not happened to us,
So
a lot of money.
can get real spending, but I think doing, like, if we spend our money on this kind of walkability project, it can show city that this is kind of what we're about in, so.
Would this be the kind of thing that we could, like if we need more streetlights or wanna change out our streetlights for a better streetlight? Is this what we would use our money for, or is there some other way to get that done?
So I think streetlights, we're better off going directly to Provo
Provo
Power,
Power.
because they manage the streetlights, the power department does. And the secret is they have more money than every other department. They can do stuff.
And keep in mind too, Jonathan Saluone, he's the one at Provo Power that does the street lights. For every person who wants a street light, there's 2 people who don't want the street light.
Right.
So he spends all of his time installing and then taking out street lights. So just be aware of that.
So not to take away from your idea, because I do love your idea and I want to support it, but if we had money left over even, another idea that we did throw around was, because we can't paint curbs, because I don't know about you guys, but in our neighborhood, we have people who are not following the intersection where you can park from an intersection or crosswalk. And so there's blind corners happening all the time. We talked about just asking the city to put up more no parking signs, like in certain intersections that are a little more dangerous. I don't know how much they cost, but that was another idea that was thrown out.
So you're talking about like one of these curb extensions might fix that. With the city recently has been more willing to do like the plastic bollards as curb extensions. So I think we might, that would, doing a full curb extension like this is out of expensive. It's too much for this, but we might be able to pay for bollards.
Talking about the yellow sticks,
Yeah.
is that what you mean?
Yeah. Which is probably better.
I had a question, why can't we paint red anymore? I've heard this and I have never heard why.
I'll add to that one. Because I've been talking with the Provo City.
Is it not effective or?
No, the reason they've told me is because in our wonderful winters here in Utah, nobody can see the curb when it snows. And therefore they are less effective. As I talked to them about this year, this winter, and it's January, and I'm like, what snow? But that is what they told me, is that because of the traditional winters here in Utah, can't see the curb in the winter, and therefore they reassigned all the crews that would paint. And they say the signs are more effective. I don't necessarily believe that, because nobody's looking for a sign, they're looking for the red curb like the rest of the country. And they said they would have to train crews how to paint curbs.
How hard is it? You get a brush and you.
You have to get wrapping up kind of quick, so.
Just really quickly, I also was checking with the city on this because we talked about that in our board meeting. And it's actually in city code that says you cannot paint curbs with the exception of house numbers. But yeah, for all those other reasons, expense and ineffectiveness in the wintertime when there's snow, that's the reason.
Yeah, that's true.
I like the fact that you're gonna do that, especially if we're talking in the Dixon area where we're going to have skills and things like that. So I really do favor that happening. Because I use those ramps all the time with the little boys that are on their bicycles with me. But I do not like your little narrowing of the street because there are too many people that do go fast. I want them to have more space to go around.
Well, it slows us. That slows them. So it'll stop this people that are whipping around those corners. It forces them to slow down. Those bringing the curb in forces traffic to go very slow at intersections. So that's what makes it safer because they have to slow down to get through that narrowing.
That they would do so and possibly hit another car coming in. I just remember that when they're turning into 2000, that the house on the corner was hit 3 different times by one boy, you know, and they finally put a very large block on their property. But 3 times the same boy.
Just have, like if you do this project and you have some money left over, anytime you have a little bit of money left over. So 800 north, which fits in the river bridge, down towards the lake. There's only one bench along the river trail. I actually bought a walker so I could walk the river trail and sit down when I needed to. But it would be really nice for elderly people to have benches. So that's another suggestion. It would be costing.
We could volunteer more and you could make more.
Well, we're limited to this amount of money, so I think we need to take a vote on this, if this is a project people are willing to support. Forward with it, so it, everybody who's in favor.
And I need the secretary to count.
Oh, okay. Hands up. One hand each. Curve.
Oh, Sue and
Okay.
Okay, is there any opposition votes?
No, but could we request that any surplus we have, we go with her idea to put benches? Because.
We have to get permission from the parks people first, so I wanna talk.
But
to
that
them.
would be our.
That's a possibility.
That would be our suggestion. With any money we have left, we purchase a bench or however many we can purchase.
And keep in mind that the applications for this grant money is online. Anyone in your district can apply for this grant money. You can just do it online and then come to a meeting and we'll discuss it. So don't feel like only the board members can make suggestions, any resident in our district.
I know we're wrapping up, so with this $3,500 remaining, do we, if we don't make a decision right now, does that money roll over to the next time?
It does.
Okay.
How much, does the whole thing roll over?
Yeah.
Like slush fund.
Okay.
Yeah, the whole thing rolls over. And then you get your 7,500 on July 1st plus whatever money you're rolling over.
So just a thought for that next meeting, could we have like a kind of comment box or something where people suggest ideas online or something beforehand?
Yeah, we're happy to contact your board people get on the agenda.
Do you know who your board representative is? No.
Where do you live?
What neighborhood?
I'm
Your address.
I live at the Branbury. I think it's not Carterville, it's Brickyard? Okay.
So we have a few minutes.
Branbury's on the west side.
Supposed to be at least west side.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's Carterville.
It is Carterville? Okay.
Was it?
Let's
Okay.
do.
Yeah, that's fine.
Let's open it up for some public comment. We have just a few. Yeah.
Yeah, it used to be, we're getting close to the neighborhood cleanup again and here at the end of the month. And it used to be that different neighborhoods would get the dumpsters and stuff every so often. They haven't done that for a long time. Is there any way that maybe they could take some of those dumpsters once a year and move them to a different part of the city or in different neighborhoods that don't get them normally? It's just a thought that we used to have that, but now we have to do only like 5 spots that we have to use, but it'd be nice if they could move those dumpsters around once a year.
I think they already have the schedule out for this year.
Yeah, but-
Pass it on. Line closer.
Yeah. By the way, I do like the seating, the little bench for the, I think that's a good idea.
With any other general public comments?
I have one quick thing. So I'm Julie Rose. I live in the Grandview South neighborhood, and I have been trying to get more informed. So I go to city council and planning commission meetings, and I write recaps of their agendas, like previews, and then recaps of the meetings in like I'm a journalist. So this is like my volunteer, unbiased, free, easy to understand. So if you, I post them on Facebook to help you kind of know, so when you want to go and comment. But I also have a newsletter, so I have a couple little parts if you guys want one out.
She's fantastic. 100% recommend. Read her
You're better
stuff.
than AI.
That's saying something.
Yeah, I'm just gonna throw this out. I was reading that they wanna propose for Provo City an AI center.
Yes,
We
so
have
the
Andy-
commission, my understanding is they approved it and it's now going to city council and the meetings on March 10th.
Yeah, next
At
Tuesday.
5:30. Yeah.
Okay, I'm just gonna throw this out. We're looking, they use so much water. And everybody's screaming about, we don't have enough water to do our lawns. So why are we doing this?
Yeah, no.
You should read my summary. I have all the details for you.
But this is a concern I also had. So they sent out an email with like the information that the planning commission is reviewing. And part of my understanding of the proposal is that it's supposed to be a recycled water. There's
Closed loop.
Closed loops, that's the phrasing. And it's supposed to use as much water as a car wash would.
For how long?
For you.
1 year, it's gonna use enough.
The property is gonna use about as much water as if there was a car wash there.
Yeah. An open car wash. Which makes me wanna like.
If you had a quick quack there, it would use the same amount of water.
I'm with you on the outrage. I'm not a fan of it, so I will be going to the meeting and making a comment. I also, if you want to email city council has a kind of general email you can send out.
As soon as they sent it out to me, I emailed them back and I wrote out exactly. I'm from LA and the water's issue. I've been here for 30 years. And they put in the all these data centers are going to like Arizona and places that don't have water. And I'm just going, why are you doing this? We already have one up at Camp William.
And then Virginia has, I think, the most like AI centers.
But
that we have in
they
the
have a
country.
fair
And
amount of water there. It's not like they live in a desert.
The centers don't use water as much anymore. They've changed the technology.
Yeah, that's what they say. And then
Did
you.
you use a lot of power?
Yeah, it's moving so fast.
It's up to the city council and the mayor's office. Yeah, one last comment.
On the south, on 500 West, which would be State Street, turning left into Macy's grocery store. Could you please back that up a little bit? We don't have enough cars that can be turning into Macy's without blocking the left lane. That just come back a little bit further.
Yeah, that's a state road, so you need to contact UDOT Region 3.
So that's UDOT.
Yeah.
They just need to back it up at least a little bit more.
Integrity of the bridge structure.
Well, thanks everyone for coming out to the meeting tonight. And we will see you in 3 months.
Thank you.